Okay, now we're recording, and I'm Laura Jane, and I'm here with my friend Veronika Winski
Yeah.
across the country in a beautiful space there.
Oh,
You
lucky
always
to
look,
be stuck here.
yeah, right. You make it look good, and yeah, as I was saying to you a moment ago, it's been so what's the word? Really just intriguing even to watch you over the last year, especially because I was already such a fan of your work, and just following you, and even how you live your life. And you really are one of those who walks your talk, I would say, in that you seem to be always just like dreaming up your best life and living it, which I feel like is what you really are sharing with people nowadays more than ever. But yeah, to watch you over this last year as you decided to really do a lot more travel, right? And so you were doing all this international travel, and were you even in Vietnam when some of this started to go on? Is that right?
Yes, yes. So this year was the year that I stepped into my next up level dream, which
Yeah.
was to be a world traveler. And
Ah.
quite the year I picked to launch that. But I did, and I traveled for about 3.5 months. Started out with Hawaii, then went to the Philippines, and then finally I was in Vietnam for when I had to return back home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
I
didn't have
can.
to, but I felt guided to that it's time now to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. But I could even feel, and maybe it's because something you were sharing in your posts, that even on your way back, I felt like on the plane, you were already in this mode of like, okay, how can I help? Even though as you were out traveling, you're still sharing and inspiring and working with people. But I could really feel that from you. And then I've seen that from you, that right when you got back, it felt like you are offering some amazing free things and doing daily videos and really just like sharing more than ever, right? And offering some really interesting things. So is that true that on the plane and such you were just like
You
in
know,
your
Thank you so much for acknowledging that.
uh,
And I'm happy to hear that that's how it looked on the outside, that it was such quick diving in. Um, but what was really happening, it took a little bit of a moment to like, ooh, come back into this completely different reality that I was in.
yeah.
And I did feel divinely guided to literally end my trip and come back home. And living by the principles that I live by, it's becoming easier and easier to hear that divine guidance. So I
um
heard it, and I was not even supposed to be back yet. I was still supposed to be traveling.
yeah.
But in that moment, I heard like it's time to go home, like go back now.
uh,
So I did, and I booked the ticket and flew back pretty much 2 days later. I flew back right away. And when I was on my way here, it was just so much going on that I kept everybody up to date with my journey and what's going on real life. So to give them assurance as to what is happening and what is possible, that it's not all chaos and it's not all that bad out there. And
yeah.
then finally, once I arrived, I was like, okay, what was it that made me come back? Like, what is it now? How can I be of most contribution? So I did jump right in. Was it easy? In the moment, it really was not that easy because my body was tired.
Yeah.
My whole being was still trying to adjust to thinking we're going to be traveling and adventuring and exploring, and that's what I've been doing for over more like 3.5 months, to being at a standstill and also seeing how the different countries are reacting to
Yes.
this pandemic, to the virus, and their reaction and the government's action. I thought, oh my gosh, this is really the time I need to step in and help in a much bigger way, because it's just now needed more than ever. because I could sense that there was almost like this veil of illusion being put over everyone, that this is just going to blow over in a week or two. And
Ah,
having traveled and having met people from other
ah,
countries, I could see what's
ah,
happening and which way are we going. And
wow.
knowing
Yeah.
that, we know that we're going to be like this for quite some time, maybe. We don't know how long. And
Yeah.
during that time, it's the perfect opportunity for people to start creating new daily habits and starting
Mm,
something new and fresh, but with all this information that we're being fed by the news, by the media, by the, it's also fear based. So it's very easy for people to go into their cocoon of the uncomfortable comforts and comforts that
mm,
are of not contribution to us, thinking that,
ah,
oh, it's okay, because in a week or two, we're going to be back to normal.
ah,
But
so true, right? Right?
that, yes, that was one of the big reasons why I came back and saw what's happening and had felt then, I'm like, okay, this is why I'm back at this time. Just
Wow.
jump in, jump in and start sharing what I
Wow.
know
I
and
love that
start
how
sharing.
your travel life though really informed you in a unique way. It gave you this like more global perspective and that helped you come in to, if you are at all more serving people in the Western, but you probably are working with people all over the world, but that really served your perspective, right? And helped you even get into a level of acceptance that a lot of us are still not even in, right?
Yes, and part of my big learnings of the travels was really being present. Like, okay, we're in this now. Like, be here now. There is not what was before and not what's going to happen. Like, be present here now. That's why it is so important to, in a way, compartmentalize these different emotions and different things that we give ourselves to focus on,
Ah,
and put them
ah,
in different compartments. Like, I know that it's easy to focus on all the bad and all the news and all of that, but give yourself a deadline. I'm not going to be looking at that anymore after that. And then open a new compartment where you get to dream, or another one where you get to be creative, or another one where you get to be still. But you have
ah.
to do it with mindfulness and awareness.
Ooh, that's so interesting. I haven't thought about that or heard of that kind of conversation at all about thinking about like feelings or experiences or focus, how you could compartmentalize it. So you're like giving yourself space to do it, right? I could see what really brings in that non-judgment, because I know like some of the systems I know you're trained in, like access consciousness, right?
Yes.
It's so
Uh-huh.
clear about judgment and how much that doesn't help us, right?
Yeah,
And
and not judging the feelings or emotions that may be coming up, but
uh,
becoming aware of them, and then
yeah,
allowing ourselves to be in it. Don't
uh,
just hide it or push it away or drink it away or whatever away.
wow,
Be in
yeah,
it. But if it's a feeling or an emotion that is not of high vibration, meaning
yeah.
it doesn't bring joy to your body and to your mind, like, give yourself a time limit and don't be in it longer than that.
Ah, like don't dwell in
Don't
a sense.
dwell. Yeah,
If
be
you
it's
can, but give yourself space to do it, because that seems like you've got a very modern, evolved perspective on that. Because maybe a new agey in the past approach would be that we don't let ourselves feel all the feelings, right? And
yeah, no, it's
give ourselves room for that, and that obviously doesn't work or make sense. So
no. Yeah,
yeah,
and
I
also the
really,
same with, right now forming these new healthy habits that are going to be of contribution to people.
mm,
Becoming aware of the split second when you have this moment of like excitement. Oh, I always wanted to. The thing that you said you wanted to do, but you didn't have the time. And then your mind going, oh, not right now. And choosing something else. Becoming aware of that split second of that moment,
ah.
feeling that feeling, and then acting anyway.
Ooh, yeah, right, right. So
There
it is
is
this
no
sense of
fluff.
like
Yeah. There's no
getting in
fluff.
more of a
There's,
mastery of our
yes,
emotions almost.
exactly. Exactly. Because it's not going to just come easy, like, oh, yeah, I'm aware of it. Now I will want to do this thing. Most likely not. You have to literally make yourself do it.
Yes, yes.
And then you will feel that feeling of completion, of satisfaction, even if you,
Um,
let's say, go and look up the thing that you were thinking about and
yes,
just do
right,
5 minutes, just even five few minutes. It makes such a big
right.
difference.
Isn't that so true that we really don't feel there is that the opposite of satisfaction too. I'm not sure what it is when we don't
Dissatisfaction.
take that action.
Exactly.
When,
And
I so notice that with myself now, and it's like, oh, you can't get around it. But but like you're saying, when you do the thing or whatever it is, you do get that sense of fulfillment. And that's what we're talking about. If we're like talking about happiness, and then I
yes,
really love how you phrase it. Is this a contribution to me or others? Because that to me too brings in a non-judgment, but it's still a discernment, right? That we can, most of us agree on, like the things we want to be putting our energy into. Is it some, that's a nice general question to bring in, like, is this a contribution to me or others? Right?
exactly.
Or is
Exactly.
this,
And that's why this whole month, I've been doing the dream your outrageously big dream
I love
journey.
it. Yeah.
Because now
Ooh.
more than ever, it's really important to know what would be your, not even in the past, I was talking about big dream, but now I keep getting the message that it's past the big dream because it's hard for our minds to hold on to the big dream because of everything that's happening. So we have to go beyond that big dream, meaning,
Ah,
like, once you got that which your heart makes you sing, you don't even need to know what it is. What is that life after that you are living?
wow.
Like something,
Jeez.
and it has to be grandiose, and it has to be something that makes you giddy, that makes you like so excited that your mind is like, oh, that's a nice fairy tale story you are telling yourself.
Yeah. But it's
Because
like
then,
enchanting the mind almost. It's kind of like it's
yes, like
playful in
enchanting
that.
the,
Ah,
exactly, you enchanted the
woo.
mind. And when you do that, your whole body in that moment
Yeah.
is like a powerful magnet of that. And that's like conscious creation. And
It makes
people are like,
sense.
oh, but that's so fairy tale like. And I say, yes, I understand that that's what it feels like. But to your mind, it allows it to release attachment to how am I going to do this? How is this going to happen? Because it's just an
Yes.
enchanted fairy tale story that you are telling yourself. But
Ah,
because it is so enchanted, I love that word, I may use it, or so
please.
magical that it makes you be in that state of energy. And when
Yeah.
you are feeling like that, that's what you are attracting. So
Wow.
then, when day to day action, when things show up in your life and you ask, is this, of contribution to me? If you are focusing every day on that outrageous dream life, even if it's for a minute, when you ask the question, is this contribution? Automatically, it's going to go, is this contribution to that big vision that I have?
Oh, yes. And that's such a great way to integrate it and bring in the focus. That makes so much sense. And it really ties together what we've heard from all the classic teachers over the years about how you have to like feel it and be it to attract it and experience it. And it reminds me of, and I'm remembering you went to Kyle Cease event, so you know about Kailegoing. Of course, there's people who do that version of things, right? But that's something I still use with myself a lot. And I can see this as a version, like a next level of understanding with that, right? Like how we can do any sort of exercise that gets us in as if we're already there. But I love that you guys feel like you've got this next level awareness with it, that it's like past the big dream, like, because that, oh, I love it. It kind of gets us on the other side of the big accomplishment. Like, what will life be like then? And to
Yeah,
dream that.
yes.
I can totally feel it in my body. That feels very exciting.
I get
Um,
like truth bumps when I
and it's
say it.
so helpful. I do too. And it feels like it is exactly what our minds almost need right now too, right? Like,
That's
because
what I
like you're
feel.
saying, we're developing new habits. We are focusing and creating a vision anyways. And oh, it's so good because it really
And
embodies
yes,
it
and
helps
now
us embody it and not just think about it, right? Because the
e-
just thinking about it thing hasn't worked for most of us.
exactly, it's not. It's you know, what they told us not to do when we were kids. Stop daydreaming. Like, start daydreaming. Like, what would it be like if, yeah, rainbows and unicorns, like, make it like that. Make it that your mind is like, yeah, right, I'm not even going to try to figure out how to get that.
Ah, wow. Yeah. But I think
And then,
that's a really, I hear that you really like almost downloaded this new specific that is going to help us like to imagine past the accomplishment and that, because that's what makes it more playful, right? Because if you're just thinking
yes,
about the accomplishment, it still has the hustle and the how in there, right? So, but then if
exactly,
you're like,
yes,
okay, but then what will be life be like after that? Wow,
yeah. Like,
that
and
feels
you can,
new and helpful.
and in that vision, I feel like you can put people in it as well. Like, for example, like for me, I love to travel. Traveling is my thing. So in my outrageous vision, I see myself renting like a whole island and have like flying, be my friends and my family on a private plane
Yeah.
and being there and whatever it may be, and going exploring and just being like, don't worry, everybody, it's
Ah,
me from all
yeah.
over the world.
I
How
can totally
great.
see that.
Yeah, you know,
It doesn't
and
even
then
sound
even,
outrageous.
yeah, making it even greater and greater. Like, the more that you play with it, the more that you can make it bigger.
Wow.
And again,
Wow.
because all day we are in a certain energy. And now it's also very important what we are liking and clicking on our social media, because people that complain that, oh, the social media is giving all negative news and it's all of this or blah blah blah. People, what you click on and what you open and what you focus on is what will put like come up in your feed. So to make sure that you are redirecting your focus and click and like things that are giving you hope, making you laugh. That's why I keep posting these silly jokes on my page, on my private page. Get people out of the crazy, you know, energy of worry and more. Maybe this is the truth. Maybe this is the truth. No, this is being in a different state of energy and paying attention to what you are what you are clicking, what you are googling, what you are searching, because that's what the feed is going to be.
Amazing. And it's so interesting what a difference like of how people's focus can be going right now, right? Where some people right now can be using this time to just be getting deeper into that which is being presented, and then some of us could be, you know, doing like you're encouraging and just literally like dreaming up like the next where we're headed next in a whole new way. And it's actually so much more practical to do the right of our use of our energy and our attention and our power
Yeah,
to do
and we don't
what
have to focus on that all day every day, because
yeah,
that's not
right, right,
realistic. Just again,
yeah,
give yourself a
just
little
a
bit of
little
time.
bit even.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like planting little seeds, and every day if you focus on it, you're like
Mm.
watering a little.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. And that's
Because
something
then,
because you're doing a program right now, right? Where you're guiding people. Can
yes,
people still join that 30
yeah,
day thing? Like,
anytime. That's why I call it a journey, not a challenge or anything that
okay.
puts a limit on it. Join in anytime. And every Sunday we do a free live Zoom, you know, gathering. I called it first master class, but I don't think people want to be classed right now. So we're
Ah,
going to gather.
uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it's more, again, like learning as we, I guess, as we are present, and learning as we do it, because things are changing. Even a month ago a class would be great, and that's what I thought, okay, that's going to be good, and now I'm getting the message that no, it's about gatherings and about people supporting one another and being there for each other, and no solid structure, because the meeting, the gathering, the energy is going to form according to who shows up,
Ah,
and it's
I
going
love
to
that.
be guided that way. Because if you have an agenda, then that might not work.
Right, right. It keeps it from being as authentic, right? In a sense, you know, even though we people who might plan such things could have all these great ideas on,
Ex-
or we could fill up the hour teaching or 3 hours or whatever. Yeah,
but
yeah,
setting an intention and
yeah,
having clarity on
yeah.
what the intention behind the a gathering is, and then just allowing to be guided. Some
Wow.
structure, but not very solid. Because
Well, and
things are changing.
I'm so glad to talk to you too, because I love being reminded of how you obviously have such a strong, I don't know if you like the term like spiritual connection, and you're very into things like your divine guidance and such, which is so cool. I mean, and I love making my life more and more about that. And yeah, I mean, what are some of your favorite ways that you feel like you really tune in right now, like for yourself, especially, you know, if that's shifting right now?
For me, it's always the breath.
Ah, yeah.
Always the breath. I do what I call a conscious breath, and I offer a link to, I call it an energetic reset, which is 5 of these breaths on the dreamlifeformula.com website.
Mm,
Because
mm,
that's something that I use. It's my number one tool is the breath.
mm.
If I feel like I'm use
Yep,
the breath to bring myself back in. And then
yep.
for me also, everything that I share is what I do. Setting up a new daily ritual and not being so rigid with myself, like seeing what
Yes.
works, what doesn't,
Uh-huh.
realizing that, for example, like starting my day early really gives me energy.
Yeah.
Starting my day later, and by some people's standards it still may be early, but for me it's not. It doesn't fuel me. So
Uh-huh.
playing with it, what works for you, what doesn't
Yeah.
work for you, and
Uh-huh.
having those, yeah, daily rituals. When I wake up, I do certain things, and there's certain things that I enjoy, that I know that are contributing to my well-being. um,
Um,
so I make sure that I do them every day. But if I
ah.
skip a day, well, most of the time I don't know, because you don't have a excuse to skip certain things that you commit to that are small
Yeah.
or are within vicinity of your space. But if I would miss something, I'm going to be gentle with myself about it.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Being
Mm-hmm.
gentle with yourself. And at times it's not easy, because uh, for a while I was feeling very like drained and energetically drained, and paying attention, is this energy mine, or is this energy of the collective? So
Yes.
realizing and then closing those gates, because many times it is most of the time the collective, because my energy is pretty light, and I feel it, but other energies may sneak up on you. So again,
Uh-huh.
if you catch yourself and it's later down the road where it's been most of the day and you're like, give yourself permission to take it easy and just rest, and then know that next time I'm gonna do better in recognizing when this energy that's not mine shows up in my space and starts
Mm,
draining me.
wow.
Oh,
I'm so excited for like all of us to get more of an understanding of how much we feel each other's energy, and hear each other's thoughts, or however you might say that. And
and I
yeah,
think
I
now more than
definitely.
ever, because we are experiencing something on a completely new level than ever before. How we are connected globally with so many others.
Yeah.
So, and there's so much of the same energy. So it's very much easier for us to pick up on that and feel it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
empaths may
that's
be feeling
probably,
kind of drained.
yeah, right. And that's probably helpful for people to be aware of right now, because um, and even me, because I feel like I'm still understanding what's my energy and what's other people's energy. And I know I've had all sorts of feelings through this. So yeah, it's just helpful to know. And then I know like probably you and I both are into ways that we like can be taking care of our energy, right? Or managing our energy. And but you really teach that I feel like you really teach that every choice we're making in the day in our lives, right, is part of that, right?
Yeah,
Is
pretty
part of
much.
like managing our energy, right?
Exactly. And it's
So
all
it's
about
not,
that awareness, like becoming aware when something
yeah,
is of contribution to you or not.
that is so
Because most
clear
of the
too.
time we're
Just
not aware because we are habitual beings, and habits many times are just go unrecognized.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. I
So
love that.
having that awareness.
Bashar, you might probably know that teacher Bashar from back in the day, but I think he would say a habit's not a habit anymore. Once you are aware of it, then it becomes a choice. But I feel
Yes.
like I love that you're really getting us to think about what habits we're creating now. So like bringing that choice to the beginning of a habit at this
Yes,
time, right? Because
because it's
it's so
perfect.
true that we're
Yes.
creating habits right now, whether we like it or not.
Whether we like
Right?
it or not, it's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we become
So,
aware that we are doing that, we can create new habits that are going to be of contribution to us. And in the beginning, like I said, yeah, you have to make yourself, and you have to make yourself, and then you have to make yourself and make yourself. And then one day it's a habit. That means you don't think about it anymore.
yes, you forget that's a way to create a habit is that whole
Exactly.
making
So,
yourself thing.
mhm. So instead
Yeah.
of going into the comfortable that's already been created and through the habit of probably comfort that puts us in this state of feeling temporarily good has already been formed. So of course we go to it, and it's so easy.
Yes.
But when we
Yes.
try to do something new, it's like, yeah, just get through the discomfort to get to the, pot of gold.
I love that that's part of what you share too. And I loved your video a couple days ago where you were kind of bringing that up. Like, are you uncomfortable right now with this, all these changes and, and just, but with an almost an excited tone, like, are you uncomfortable? Because
Yeah,
that means like that it
change
could
is
be,
happening.
yeah, yeah.
But the change is happening. You just have to steer it the right way because you're going to be
Um,
uncomfortable anyway.
that's a really good point.
Pick a lane.
Yeah,
It's
right.
going
Take
because
a
also
lane
like
of
it's
discomfort.
yeah, because if we just sit there and get into our old habits, even though like in the split second you may be like, oh, I'm so comfortable, this is comfort and it's good, man, you're going to be suffering because after you're going to be like, oh, I should have done it, I could have, blah blah blah, all of that. So you're suffering already. So inflict your own suffering by choice so that it becomes pleasure, like real pleasure.
Wow, that's such genius. And I really feel like that's a big piece of mental health for a lot of us, and being happy is just that whole cycle with ourselves, right? Of like creation and like how
Yeah.
we're responding to the impulses. And if we're, and me too, I mean, I can be good at like taking action, but there's still, I'll have that going on within myself, seeing the things I didn't do. And it's just only you hurt, if you,
Exactly.
with those choices, right? Like your question asks, is this a contribution to me?
Yeah, or not. Yeah,
Is
and then
it?
but the thing is also like forgive yourself easily. So it's
Yes.
not like if you're like, oh, I could have, should have, don't like drop it. Like become aware of it and be like, it, let me just drop it. What would be fun for me to do right now? And pick something and just do it. Small action.
Um,
Just
yes, that's a good
and
question too, to keep it playful. What would be fun for me to do right now? Yeah. And and I just yesterday was talking about forgiveness with someone, and they were bringing up the energy components of if you are like not forgiving someone. And I was realizing like, gosh, if we're not forgiving ourselves, there's got to be like a lot of energy to that, right? That really
yeah,
drains us.
we have
So,
to start with ourselves and we have to treat ourselves how we like, how they say, treat others how you wish to be treated, or treat others how you are, treat yourself how you are already treating others,
wow.
because sometimes people may treat others with such love and care and compassion, and then they are so nasty to themselves.
Yes.
Don't do
Wow.
that.
It's like the other side of that, do unto others. Like we've forgotten, where we thought and still want to do unto others as we would have them do unto us, right? But there's a whole other part to that, right? To do unto
Yeah,
yourself as you would do unto others, right? So,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
wow. Gosh, thank you so much. I knew that like our good 30 minutes would fly by, but
That was so fun.
I so appreciate what you're bringing to the planet at this time. And I totally look forward to joining your journey and gatherings. And
Yay.
yeah, I'm so thankful that you're sharing what you're sharing. So yeah, will you please mention though, again, how people can follow you and find you? This will be on Facebook, and then I'll put it on my YouTube. So
Perfect.
what are good
It's
ways for people to find you?
everywhere. It's
Yes.
the Dream Life Formula. And the website is thedreamlifeformula.com.
Great. Okay, that's
Super
easy.
easy. Yes.
Smart reason to keep it easy. Well, thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Veronica, and have a
Thank you.
great
Thank
rest of
you.
your day there in paradise.
Thank you.
Quarantine paradise. Okay.
Quarantine
Thanks,
paradise.
Veronica.
Bye, Laura J.
Bye.
Thank you.